What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. A little bit of a delayed week. Wouldn't you say, Nate?
Yeah. It's been a while since we've been around doing the podcast, but we've been watching plenty of sports. We've been keeping up with it, and we weren't able to get a pod out last week. It just wasn't going to work out. Me and Joe were busy with other things. Joe was busy making food for Thanksgivings. And so it just wasn't, and Joe does pretty much all the editing and everything on this. I thought about doing like my own little, recording like Joe did when I was sick. But the truth is I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to editing it or uploading it. So
I can teach you, Nate.
yeah, so it didn't happen last week. We really did think about it, but just weren't able to get it done. So we're back this week. We're going to try to keep this one from not going super long because we got some things, we want to talk about, from the previous 2 weeks or from the last week that we missed. So we're going to try to fit as much as we can into this while also keeping time in mind. And so, yeah, Joe, we'll start off, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good. I had two of them. Went to the family's house, had a nice time. Did a little bit of Black Friday shopping. Got a new TV. That's nice. And then went up to visit the fiance's family for their Thanksgiving and got snowed in. So it was not fun trying to dig my car out, but everything else was pretty good. Good food. Good. We were watching sports the whole time. Good football. All that type of stuff. So it was a pretty good holiday week.
What's your least favorite Thanksgiving food?
Least favorite. You know what I'm not a huge fan of? I'm not a huge fan of the sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows on top.
Oh my goodness, that's one of the best parts.
See, a lot of you guys might think I'm weird for this, but I like just the sweet potato underneath it. I don't like the marshmallows on top. It's too sugary, in my opinion, at least for me.
Your brain needs to be studied.
Maybe, and then my favorite thing by far probably is green bean casserole. That's one of the things we brought. So
that's a solid pick.
Yeah, and also deviled eggs is another one, which this was only my second time making them, but I think I improved a lot.
We won't talk about it, but don't even get me started on the deviled eggs with my wife in our Thanksgiving. So
not enough,
but we're not going to go down that road. But not enough.
So how was your Thanksgiving, Nate?
It was good. My Thanksgiving was good. Had a lot of good food, and enjoyed my time. So it was always fun. There was a lot of good sports on Thanksgiving. That's what I always really like about the Thanksgiving week is, a lot of good sports before, during, and then you still got the Saturday, Sunday slate of sports as well after it's done too. So let's just get right into it, Joe. What do you have for college football from this week that caught your eye that you want to talk about?
This weekend there was a lot of good games, a lot of rivalry games, and a big one that I think surprised a lot of people: Texas beating Texas A&M. And I mean, that was a great game overall. I was just blown away that Texas A&M lost. They had a chance to come back and win it, or at least tie it in those last few minutes, but some mistakes piled on, and they ended up losing.
It just seems like at some point when those teams are undefeated that they have to lose at some point.
Yeah.
And so I really thought Texas A&M was going to win that game, and they didn't. And now this is going to make a total mess in the playoffs because Texas is going to say, that they should be in at 9-3. They would be, I think, the first 3-loss team in the playoffs. And so they're going to make a push that they should be in, like we said in our last podcast. So, I was surprised that happened. I guess when you're at Texas, not totally surprising. It's a tough place to play, unless you're the Iowa State Cyclones. Texas A&M just wasn't able to get it done. Also, full disclaimer here, we do not have a Nate's Greats this week. There was a bunch from the last 2 weeks, and some of these games are just kind of outdated, more or less. Like, I feel like most of my top 5 probably wouldn't have been, games right now that feel relevant. So we're not doing that, but our college football talk is still sponsored as always by Just Toast, the toasting experts.
Best toast in the country.
Yeah, just no Nate's Greats this week. So, yeah, that one did surprise me, but I guess I can say that, I can see it happening,
Yeah. Another game, another big rivalry, Alabama versus Auburn. Alabama taking the win, 27-20. There was a whole almost documentary before this game just about their rivalry, about all this stuff going on with them, and it was an entertaining game to watch. Very chippy, not a whole lot of flags thrown, and when they were thrown, in my opinion, not very good calls. There was a lot of pass interferences, which I don't think should have flew. There was a lot of things that could have been called personal fouls that weren't. It was just a very interesting game in that aspect. And one quick thing, Auburn, I saw something that Alex Golesh, the head coach of South Florida, is going to be their new head coach next year. So that'll be interesting to see there.
Yeah, that will be. Glad to see Alex Golesh, take that next step. If you go back and listen to one of our podcasts at some point from the start, I said that if Iowa State was to get rid of Matt Campbell, I mean, not get rid of him, but if he was to leave Iowa State, that's who I wanted as Iowa State's next coach. He used to be Iowa State's assistant coach under Matt Campbell, and so he's got the Iowa State ties. So hopefully I want to see him do well. Hopefully he can get stuff turned around at Auburn. It seems like that job is really hard to take over right now. Has been for quite a few years. And so the Iron Bowl game was good. Wasn't really that great of a game at the start of that game. Alabama jumped out to like a 10-0, lead in that game. And then it kind of went up. Wasn't it was it 17-7 or 17-0?
It might have been. I think it was 17-7.
Yeah, and then, Auburn just kind of started to slowly come back into that game. I was actually watching the USC-UCLA game, and they were showing a highlight. It was 17-13 all of a sudden, and I was like, oh, man, we got to get back to that game. So that's when I kind of started watching that game again. But, the Iron Bowl, I guess I don't really get into that game a whole lot. Probably not a lot of people from the Midwest probably do. It's kind of like, it would be like Alabama fans watching the Iowa State game. They wouldn't really give a shit. But, crazy stuff can happen in those rivalry games, so. Yeah.
Yeah, and, that was, these rivalry games, especially towards the end of the season, especially in instances where, championship games are on the line, and I know Alabama needed to win that to be in the SEC championship, so it was very needed for them. And it just gets heated. I know a lot of refs won't throw flags for certain chippiness going on because that's what those games are about.
Yeah, they need the ratings.
Exactly. So I'm not hugely surprised by that. But the last game I have to mention is Vanderbilt versus Tennessee.
Vanderbilt smacked them.
They did 45-24. I believe this was the first time they've played each other in a while. I don't know. 100%.
I think they play each other every year.
Do they?
If I'm not mistaken. We should look that up. I think this is the first time that Vanderbilt has won in like a long time.
It might be. I'm not 100% sure. I thought I heard some commentator saying something about this is the first time they played in however many years, but I could be wrong about that. But it was a very close game up until about midway through the third quarter. Vanderbilt started to take off and just absolutely take control of that game. And I think a lot of Tennessee fans were surprised by that. On paper, Vanderbilt is ranked higher, but I think a lot of people expected that game to be a little bit closer, and it wasn't.
They play every year, and Vanderbilt has won the last 3 out of the 5 years in that matchup. So
that's my mistake, everybody. Sorry about that. I thought I heard something about the commentator saying that. They could have been talking about another team. I'm not sure. But
yeah, Vanderbilt smacked them again.
They did.
That was a good game to watch. Diego Pavia is a really good quarterback.
He is.
I don't know if he's going to win the Heisman, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's definitely a candidate for sure, but I'm not sure if he'll get it or not.
Yeah. I don't really know if he's much of an NFL type of quarterback.
I don't know. I think he could be a good backup, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't see him being like a good starter.
He's on the smaller side.
But, you can't really say anything about that because I don't think anybody thought Brock Purdy was going to be a starter in the NFL, and look where we are now.
Well, I don't think San Francisco thought he was going to be a starter either. He just worked his way into it.
Exactly.
Not saying it can't happen. He just doesn't look like one.
No, yeah. And, he could work his way into that, or he, it depends.
Really good college quarterback.
Yeah, he is. But
one big game that I have from the college football world this weekend that you can't go without not mentioning is Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
The game. That game's always full of chippiness, and everybody knows the stakes behind that game. Michigan's won the last 2 years in a row, even though Ohio State has been the better team. And this year, Ohio State finally got them in a pretty, I would say dominant performance, 27-9.
Yeah.
Performance. Michigan led early on in that game. Michigan was up 6-0 for a while in that game. And they just couldn't outlast Ohio State in that game. And, Ryan Day finally gets, his win, and it was in Michigan. And I think Ohio State's going to be really good going into the playoffs.
I think they will be too.
But, the game was still chippy. It was everything that everybody thought it would be, as it is every year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. That game's always entertaining to watch. I saw a lot of controversy about, I think it was Ohio State's first touchdown, with him not having complete control over the ball going into the end zone. But looking back on it, let's say you don't give them that, they still win 20-9. So It's not like it changed the whole outcome of the game. It's a little bit different, I don't get people complaining about it when it's already said and done.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Exactly. So
it's not like they won by 5. Like they won by enough that the touchdown's not going to matter.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of that game. I didn't catch all of it, but I know that game meant a lot to Ohio State, especially with not having won the past few years. Last thing with college football I want to talk about, Iowa State's season, ending off the year strong. Last 3 games we won, TCU, Kansas. Kansas, we were at that game. We were at the last home game of the season. Took a win that was very much needed, and I feel like we won pretty dominantly against Kansas.
Yeah, we did, and you just didn't see that against Oklahoma State once again.
No.
They just the offense just underperformed once again against Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State's been playing tough, though. If you go back and look at their last 3-4 games, like Kansas State they held in check, UCF they held in check, Iowa State they held in check. Like they're playing with some of these teams now more than they were like in the middle to start of that part of the season. They're starting to maybe give a shit a little bit, and it's probably because they're wanting to put some tape on for like transfer portal and stuff like that. But they've been playing very, not very good, but they've been playing with the other teams. Just glad to see Iowa State get a win and get the hell out of there. Just don't screw around with that team. Just get the win and get out of there. And they did that. That game was really boring to watch. That game really wasn't that much fun to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Our offense was like not what it should be. We did not exceed any expectations in that game whatsoever.
And I think a big reason for that, though, is because you're headed in the last game. You're already going to a bowl game. There's not a ton of pressure, but at the same time, you're dealing with the fact that Oklahoma State, they don't have really anything to lose. at that point.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma State really wanted that win. I think Iowa State more so just kind of coasted it a little bit more. It didn't seem like they wanted, like, obviously they wanted to win, but they didn't seem like they were hungry for it. And it's just, it was tough to watch, but I'm just glad we squeaked out the win.
Yep. It does sound like there's like two kind of likely bowl games right now at this point that a lot of people are saying where Iowa State's going to end up. And the most likely one right now, I think it's called like the Guaranteed Rate Bowl or the Rate Bowl in Arizona and Phoenix. And that would be against a Big Ten team. And right now it really sounds like they're trying to get Iowa State and Nebraska to play.
That'd be good.
That's what they're trying to get lined up. But we would play a Big Ten team. I've seen Nebraska is mentioned in that, and I've also seen a lot of Minnesota and a lot of Northwestern. So potential there. We can play any of those teams in that bowl. Otherwise, the other game or the other bowl game that they're throwing around quite a bit right now is the Texas Bowl, and there would be a tough couple matchups in that bowl. That's an SEC qualifying Big 12 bowl, and I've seen Texas. I've seen Iowa State, Texas, and I tell you what, bring it on. Give me Texas again. I am not scared of Texas. Matt Campbell always plays Texas well. They have never blown us out. As long as Matt Campbell's our coach, Texas has never blown us out. Bring it on. Give me Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'd be more excited for. Iowa State, Nebraska, or Iowa State, Texas.
Either one's a win-win.
I would love either of those two games.
It'd be great to watch either of them. Something fresh, something new.
And especially if our offense could show up, like we did against like Arizona or Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
Against either Nebraska or Texas. Could you imagine how much fun that would be?
That would be extremely fun.
Yeah.
Especially against Texas, a hyped-up team as much as they are. That'd be, we'd be beating the number 2 ranked team. The number 2 ranked
Who's
team?
that?
Texas.
No, Texas is 9-3. They're like
No, I'm saying were they at the beginning of the year?
Yes. No, they were number 1.
Number
they were preseason number 1.
We'd be beating the preseason number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they would be. That would be fun. I'd give me Texas all day long. Everybody's going to say you're crazy. I don't care. You don't know Texas like I know Texas when they play Iowa State. You know how many times I've watched Iowa State beat Texas in person and how much fun it is every single time? It's so much fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of Texas fans that are.
We are like the thorn in Texas's ass in the Big 12. We were. Like, Texas fans could not stand Iowa State. They were like, get scared of us. That's where that saying came from Brees Hall. We have a 5-star culture.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Texas has 5-star players, we have a 5-star culture. Texas that time was ranked pretty high. Iowa State went down to Texas. That was like Brees Hall's first year, and we beat them by like 2 scores. It was so much fun, and that whole team. They didn't have a single 4-star on that team. They were all 5 stars, and that's when Brees Hall said that we don't have a 5-star team. We have a 5-star culture, and ever since then, Texas just absolutely hated us.
Yeah, that'd be entertaining to watch for sure.
Yeah, bring it on. I'll take either of those. So, but yeah, Iowa State as a whole this season, I don't know. A lot of people are going to say they underachieved. A lot of people are going to say that, they were kind of middle of the road. Some people say they overachieved. When you look at all the injuries we've had and then losing Kyle Conradi for most of that 4-game losing streak, we didn't have Conradi at any of those.
Yeah, except for BYU, but he wasn't 100% then.
Yeah, and I guess we have for Arizona State. And Arizona State was a bad one. We should not have lost that game.
No, Colorado was a bad one.
The worst
too.
one was Colorado. But you lose 9 players out of the defensive backfield. 9 guys out of that backfield. And, like what are you supposed to do at that point? And Iowa State's found a way to make it work. And I saw something today. I actually heard something today. Did you know Iowa State's defense still finished in the top 30 in defensive scoring this year in college football?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good considering, you lose 2 all Big 12 corners.
Well, I think that, those first few games with those new guys in is a little nerve-wracking for them. But I think towards the end they started to get accustomed to the game better, and I think they started playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Which is what you need. Which is what you want, especially you got guys leaving and stuff like that. You want those guys to step up to be able to play in those moments.
And Iowa State should be pretty good next year. Like, we should be able to challenge for a top 3 spot in the Big 12 next year.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get a lot of returners coming back. Granted, we don't lose a bunch of people in the transfer portal, but we're going to get a lot of players coming back next year. And so that's something exciting to, like, look forward to. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Iowa State has, so Colorado's a bad loss, right? And Arizona State, with Jeff Sims as their starting quarterback, at Iowa State, the weather was horrible. It was cold. You had Arizona State right where you needed them, and you still lost that game to a backup quarterback. Those 2 losses are bad.
Yeah.
Those are 2 losses that should not have happened. But also, we have wins that look really good, too. Like, that Arizona win is actually looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to win at TCU, that's a really good win. TCU's 8-4. I mean, that's a good win to have. And then, at the time, the Kansas State game, I don't care, but beating your rivals, still says something. And then we beat Iowa, which ended up being, a pretty good win as well. Iowa's also 8-4. So, we have some really good wins on this, on the schedule, but we also have, 2 losses that are, really bad that should not have happened.
Yeah. Honestly, all of our losses were kind of flip games. They could have won either way. I mean, BYU were up ahead.
We should have beaten BYU.
We were up ahead a lot.
Yeah, we were up 27-3 at one point.
Had some
Should have won that game.
unfortunate pick sixes. If those didn't
Rocco
happen,
threw 5 picks in that game.
If that doesn't happen, we probably win that game. Cincinnati, we got off to a very slow start, but we almost.
Cincinnati at that point was humming. I mean, they were good. They were a good team at that point.
They were
completely fell off.
They did
towards the end of the season, but at that point,
I think if we replayed them again,
I think we would have a good chance.
Yeah.
But at that point when we played Cincinnati, they were unstoppable. That offense was screaming down the field.
Yeah.
And their defense had, a lot of, something to play for. Now their defense is absolutely horrible. They're one of the best. We're one of the worst defenses in the Big 12.
Statistically.
Sure. I can't say that word. I turn in a total word vocabulary fumble when I try to say that word. I don't know why. I just lose it. My brain disconnects when I try to say that word. But yeah, and so if you look at this, okay, Colorado, we played horrible. We just played absolutely horrible in that game. Probably didn't deserve to win that game.
We also didn't have Carson Hansen. That was a little bit of a
BYU. We should have won that game. Okay, so if you put BYU in the win column, all right, now we have 9 wins, and you should not have lost that Arizona State game. No way you should lose that Arizona State game. We should have 10 wins this season. I mean, we should be 10-2 with losses to Cincinnati and Colorado.
Yeah. And that Colorado one.
And Colorado we should have won, but we played horrible. That is probably the worst game I've watched us play. Between that game and Arizona State, those are the 2 worst games I've watched us play.
And, I think part of that, too, was because I think Rocco was still affected from that hit.
Well, that was the game right after Cincinnati.
Yeah, and so I think that was a little rough.
Yeah, but then he throws 5 or 6 interceptions against BYU.
Yeah.
After that, then still doesn't look good against Arizona State. He was in a funk that he couldn't get out of.
And then TCU I feel like is kind of
finally got a bye week.
He turned around TCU.
Yeah. Then we went on a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Really good job for them to close out that season. At the point where we got blown out by BYU and then lose to Arizona State, if someone was to tell me you're not going to lose another game this season, you're going to be 8-4, I would be like, wow, that's a really nice bounce back. We're going to win at TCU. I would have said you're insane. And a win at home against Kansas, I'd have been like, I can see it happening, but we've had troubles with Kansas. And then Oklahoma State, you should win that game, but that game's never guaranteed. We only walked out of there with a touchdown win. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Iowa State, I don't think this year was the biggest year to pick on the defense. I think this year should have been you need to pick on the offense because that offense highly underachieved. I mean, we have some really good wide receivers out there that just have blatant drops
Yeah.
every game.
Last few games, though,
Rocco,
pretty well. They
Rocco,
didn't drop a whole lot.
it's Rocco's fault. He does not find the tight ends as much as he should.
Yeah.
We have 2 or 3 of the best tight ends in college football, I feel like, on our team, and Rocco has a really hard time finding them.
We don't use them that often.
Rocco got in a funk like we've never seen before, ever.
And, I heard somewhere could be something going on in his personal life. I hope whatever that is, it gets resolved. Whatever's going on in his life, I hope it smooths over whatever's going on. But it sucks to hear in those instances because you, as a fan, you're upset that they're not playing well. But then as a person, you want them to kind of get out of that funk.
Yeah, and our running backs performed very well this year. I feel like that's our running backs, our offensive line are that's the way our offense played is no fault to them.
Yeah.
That's the best offensive line Iowa State's had in a long time.
I think so. Carson Hansen had a big
And
year.
those are the best 2 running backs Iowa State's had together. Together in one time. I get we've had Breece Hall, we had David Montgomery, but I'm saying 2 running backs together,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good
They could
lineup.
both arguably be starters,
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good from what we've had for a while now. Probably since Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no fault to the offensive line and the running backs. Those guys played really good this season, but just the whole quarterback, wide receiver, tight ends area. And the tight ends played very well when they did get the ball. They just didn't get the ball a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so,
Next year, I agree with what you said. Next year, I think we'll be pretty good if we stay healthy, and if not many people go in the transfer. We have a lot of seniors next year.
yeah, next year we'll be losing a lot.
Rocco, Carson Hansen, Abu Sama, Gabe Burkle, Ben Bramer, a lot of guys there.
A lot of guys on the defensive side.
Yep.
So, and no Dominic Orange next year,
Yep. That'll be tough.
which that'll hurt, but you got to replace him. I mean,
Yep.
everybody knows we only get him 4 years max.
Yep.
So, and the COVID years are done. That's getting really close to being done.
It's already done. I think this is the last year of it. This is it.
The last people someone can use their COVID year,
No, this is like
or the COVID years are gone.
the COVID years are gone. This is like if there was any.
Because I know Taman Lipsey's using his COVID year.
Yeah, so this would be the last year you can use that.
Okay, so okay. So this year will be the end of the COVID years.
Yeah, so
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 no
the
more
football now-
No more free 5 years.
yeah, no, for football now, the free 5 years is done. That
So
was
you're gonna
very
get, you're gonna
fortunate
get guys
for a lot of those
4
guys.
at most, unless they redshirt.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I feel like that should have only went to the winter sports because a lot of their postseasons got stopped. That's why they were given the extra year. But I think the other sports started complaining, and then they got those extra years.
Yeah,
Even
because
though
you got
they
to make it fair across the board.
I know, but they
So,
still got their their postseasons in that, so it was a little bit different. But I guess everyone was affected, so it's no harm, no foul. But it's done after this year, so
yeah. So, yeah, just some things to look forward to next year. So Iowa State should be good next year. We'll be competing for a top spot in the Big 12 next year. A lot of seniors will be on that team. It'll be a huge senior class. I've heard a lot of people say that they think Matt Campbell will stay at Iowa State this year, but watch for him next year to be the year that he leaves, because this is going to be such a big graduating class.
yeah, and that'll be tough because I know Matt Campbell is a big part of Iowa State's recruiting. A lot of people want to play for Matt Campbell, and it'll be tough if we do lose somebody like him, especially for our recruiting. But you never know. I feel like that's said every year is that something with Matt Campbell's gonna go or leave or whatever, and it just never ends up happening. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, alrighty, that's we're gonna kind of wrap up the Iowa State football thing right there. So, as always, we're brought to you by Just Toast, the toasting experts. We're also brought to you by Nate and Maddie Canbox Repairs. Business has been slow.
Has been slow.
Most of that is due to Maddie's fault for not wanting to do any can boxes. But, give us a call anyway. We'll see what you got. So, Sponsored by Nate and Maddie Can Boxes. Really cool can boxes. Just depends when they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And also brought to you by Earl's Doghouse. I went to Earl's this week, actually. I was out there on Black Friday. Earl had us out. And Black Friday and Saturday I was out there. I had Thanksgiving out at Earl's. And, Earl was as chipper as ever. He was a very friendly guy. He was in a good mood this week.
Was he?
Yeah, right. Earl was in a good mood. He wanted to, sit on your lap, give you lots of kisses, get to know you.
Yeah.
But
Earl.
It was a good time. So thanks, Earl, again for having us out. He did say, however, if we ever talk about his butt tumors again, that he's pulling our sponsorship.
Okay, so we better not talk about
So yeah,
that.
we can't talk about his butt tumors anymore.
Sorry, Earl.
Yeah. Sorry, Earl. I didn't know I was touching, a hot spot there. So, alrighty. Moving on. Let's get into some Iowa State basketball.
Yep.
Because we've missed a lot. Like, it's been a lot of things have happened since we've talked
Yes.
about Iowa State basketball. And we'll kind of try to keep it somewhat relevant because otherwise this is going to get dated, like, really fast. So, by now, everybody knows what happened in Vegas. Iowa State looked phenomenal out there. You play St. John's, a really good St. John's team, really close. You lose Taman Lipsey. You're down in that game when you lose Taman Lipsey, and the guys make enough plays to come up with a win. And then, like, that win was fun, but it was also, like, not fun.
Yeah.
Because you were like, damn, like, we just lost Taman Lipsey. Like, we just beat St. John's, but at the back of your head, all you're thinking about is, now what?
Yeah.
You're getting Vietnam flashbacks from last season. Because last season we went through this. We lost Meelan, and then we lost Keyshawn. And then we lost, there was a time we didn't have Curtis Jones and Taman Lipsey on the floor. And it's like, all we want to do is be healthy, and now this starts already.
Yeah.
And so, but what we didn't have last year was a guy by the name of Killian Torre. And that guy is just,
He stepped up.
he's amazing. That guy is a beast. I hope Iowa State has him next year. I don't know if we will. I think he could be a one-and-done NBA player.
It could be.
He plays defense like an NBA-level defense already. His shot is just not completely there yet. He doesn't really have his shot, but if he gets his shot, oh boy, watch out. He loves to drive to the paint and everything. So
He's good at drawing fouls.
yes, and he's an elite defender. So that was really good to see that he was able to come in. We absolutely crushed Creighton, and we make fun of Syracuse's basketball program in the second half.
Yeah.
And
Syracuse had a close one with Houston the first game.
yeah, they took Houston to overtime and apparently the Syracuse is a quad 3 win. Syracuse is not probably going to be a tournament team. And it sounds like from what people have heard, what some inside information is they don't believe Creighton's going to be a playoff team either. They don't think Creighton's going to be a tournament team either this year. They don't think they have enough to be a tournament team. So really at that point, the only test Iowa State gets in Vegas is a St. John's team. I would have loved to see Iowa State play a team in like Tennessee. I would have loved to see Iowa State play a team in like Michigan. One of those teams. Not saying we would have won, but I just would have liked to see it, how it would have went.
Yeah, see how much we fight in it.
Yeah, and see what would happen, with no Taman. But it didn't happen. I know Iowa State gets left out of the championship game. We get left out of the third place game. But I thought TJ's comments were really cool at the end of that. We're not worried about what opportunity we didn't get. We're worried about the opportunity that we do have, and that was to beat Syracuse. That was their opportunity.
Yep.
You can't do anything about the opportunity that you're not given. So I thought that was really cool message by TJ, and that sends a message to your players that, we're not going to sit around and complain about things. We're just going to go out and do what is in front of us and what we were told to do.
Yep.
And we're going to make the best out of it, and hopefully those opportunities come later down the road. And that opportunity is going to come this Saturday. Iowa State's going to travel to Purdue and play the number 1 team in the country. And I think Iowa State can stay with them. Do I think they win? I don't think we win. But I think that game potentially has a chance to be really good. I think that game could be really good.
It could be.
I'm really excited for that game. Iowa State will have a game Wednesday night against Alcorn State first. Hopefully in that game we just see them, get back from Vegas, come out with some firepower, and, kind of blow the rust off that you've had now since you've been sitting, for a week.
Yep.
And, get back into the groove of things and get ready to go travel and play on Saturday against Purdue. Hopefully, this isn't a sleepy game. Hopefully they come out ready to go against Alcorn State, which I think they will. So it'll be a good tuner, a good, start to a good week, hopefully against Purdue.
Yeah, I hope so. That game will be entertaining to watch if we play like how we did in the Vegas tournament. And if we do end up winning, that'll be very surprising.
That'll be huge.
It would be very huge.
And I could see it happening.
I
could see Iowa State winning this game. I'm just saying it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be totally shocking. Iowa State's been in these situations before in basketball and have won.
Yeah, they have.
We beat number 1 North Carolina 3-4 years ago with TJ. So it's not like, these guys are going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
TJ will have them ready.
Yeah, I really think our freshmen too are going to step up. Jamarian Bateman as well. He didn't
have a great tournament in Vegas.
He didn't have a great stat wise, but if you look at the energy he brought, and he was very on defense. He was on it. He was always covering who he was supposed to be covering, switching when he was supposed to be switching. He did what he was supposed to. It just wasn't falling for him.
One thing you could see I liked about that Vegas tournament is now you can really kind of see these rotations.
Yeah.
That are going to start coming in and off the floor. One guy that I also said, if you go back to the last podcast, I'm pretty sure, a guy who I think just got better by the game in Vegas was Dominicus Plata.
Yeah.
I think he got better by the game. He was starting to, you could just tell he's starting to get comfortable.
Yeah, he is.
He's not, it's almost like when he started playing college basketball, it was probably a little too fast. And the coaching staff did say, it has been said that the reason he hasn't played a whole lot so far and earlier on in the season and in the exhibition games is because physically he was just not prepared. He was out of shape.
Yeah, he doesn't have the gas tank right now.
Yeah, and so they've been trying, to get him, because college basketball plays a lot faster pace than professional basketball does overseas. So they've been trying to get him, in shape and ready to go for, a fast-paced playing game. But you could really see that guy start to, catch his stride. And he gave Iowa State some valuable minutes. In that first game against St. John's, we got into some foul trouble there for a while. And he was able to come in and give you, a solid, 12, 15 minutes off the bench that were, valuable, that gave you a few points, gave you some rebounds. I mean, he's really good at walling up. Maybe, they don't go in the stat sheet as blocks, but just walling people up, he's really good at it.
Yeah.
So I did like that. You could kind of see these rotations come out a little more. And with Lipsy being down, it's nice to see that we have guys that can step up. I think Heisey stepped up and came into that situation really good compared to what he did last year. I think he has a lot more confidence now. He's actually shooting the ball. It might not always drop. He doesn't fill the stat line out, but he's a guy that has experience. That's the biggest thing. He's a guy on the floor that has experience, especially next to a guy like Killian Torrey, Killian Torrey is really talented. You want the ball in Torrey's hands.
Yeah.
But it's nice just to have a guy out there who has experience, to help, slow a guy like that down a little bit, to kind of keep him under control, kind of keep him in check, stuff like that, and let him be the talented player, but have the, the older, wiser, more experienced guy out there next to him helping him.
Exactly. That's always a good combo to have. And, now with Lipsy out right now, I don't know how long he's going to be out.
And Lipsy will be back.
He will be?
Yes, he will be back. They don't know when. If it was me, I would assume not till Big 12 play. He won't be back for Purdue, I would say. I don't think he'll be back for the Iowa game. And then we just have some, not important games from the Iowa game till Big 12 play. I think the goal for him right now is going to be that start of January area. TJ's not going to rush him back.
No.
And TJ said that because Like last year, we kind of had to force him to come back because he got hurt in like February, so we had to like get him back for March for the tournament if we wanted any chance, And so last year we kind of had to force him to come back early in that role. This year it's early enough, and with Torrey playing like he's playing and Heisey able to take his spot, TJ's not going to force him to come back early.
I think we're in a really good spot, and when he does come back, I think seeing how Torrey's playing now, I think it's very good because now you can say, okay, I don't need to play Lipsy however many minutes to try to win this game. I can leave the ball in Torrey's hands, And
honestly, maybe Lipsy will start scoring a little more now because if Torrey keeps going out and putting up these 20-point game performances, which there's really good coaches in this league, all right? Nobody has film on him, all right? So, like, those 3 games, all right, Creighton really doesn't have a whole lot of film on Killian Torrey. He went and played. He started at Creighton. Remember that in that exhibition game? Played horrible. He played absolutely horrible. But that was kind of good for him. That's like his first true, like, road test, in a way. And so Creighton wasn't going to, like, give him the respect, because for one, they haven't seen any film on this guy, really actually playing a game. And 2, he played horrible when he played against him the first time. And then, Syracuse doesn't have any time to scout him, for the next day.
Yeah.
So at Purdue, yes, he probably will be held in check a little bit more because they're going to have time, to watch his film and game plan for a guy like that. But if he can go out and put up points and score and play really well, some of that focus on defense is going to transition to him. And hopefully when Lipsy comes back, that allows Lipsy to score more, get to the basket more. Because Lipsy's hardly ever able to do that.
Well, because now, and especially if Momcilovic is scoring well, you got 3 guys. If they're all 3 on the court, you got 3 guys who you're worried about scoring.
Yeah, and then you still got Jefferson.
You still have Jefferson.
That you have to worry about.
Exactly.
And Jefferson's really hit or miss. He had a really good Vegas tournament.
He did.
The St. John's game probably was not his best outing by far, and he said that too.
He stepped up.
He did. As soon as Lipsy went down, he stepped up from there on, and he was the leader of that team. I mean, he did what he had to do.
He rebounded really well. He he was passing the ball. He was getting everyone involved. It was a very good showing from him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple big games this week, and, it'll be exciting to watch what these Cyclones can do. We're ranked number 10 now in the country. The first net rankings came out today. Iowa State is number 7 in the net. Iowa, I think, is 17 in the net. So, or 16. They're 16 in the net. So, which I think Iowa's going to be really good, too. That should be a really good game next week.
It should be.
In Hilton. And Iowa's got a Michigan State game first. By the time you guys hear this, that game will already be over. But we'll see how they look in that. I think Michigan State probably wins that game. But again, I think Iowa can give them a contest as well. Ben McCollum's a really good coach. He doesn't just get blown out usually. So we'll see what happens with that. So, alrighty, Joe, you want to take us into some Iowa State wrestling?
Yeah, so I know we haven't talked about it before, but wrestling.
Wrestling's kind of Joe's thing.
My thing is wrestling, okay? I wrestled a little bit in high school, stopped because my knees got really bad.
After he won a state champion.
I wish.
State championship.
In my dreams, yes. But I'm a huge Iowa State wrestling fan, and this past weekend, they beat Iowa for the first time in a duel in 20 years.
Yeah, since 2004.
Since 2004. And that was only the 3rd time they've won since, 1987.
Yep.
So, big win. It's kind of bittersweet because on one end, I'm really happy because we won. But on the other end, we have a lot of transfers, and all those transfers are going to be graduating next year. So it's bittersweet in that aspect. We had some big wins in that. Number 6, Evan Frost beat number 3, Drake Ayala. That was huge. Drake Ayala is a 2-time national finalist. Evan Frost, I believe, is only I think he placed 6th his freshman year. And that was just a huge win for him. He's never beaten Ayala. And then the biggest upset was number 11 Gaitan beat number 2 Patrick Kennedy from Iowa. That was a huge one. That one went into overtime, and just amazing grit by him. And it just showed this Iowa State team how good they can be. Like I said, it's a little bittersweet because Steve O'Poulin, the 125-pounder, he's gone after this year. Most of our lineup is going to be gone next year. I think like 6 out of the 10 guys that are starting are gone.
Bastida's a senior, isn't he?
Bastida's a senior. Rocky Elam's gone. Vinny Zerban's gone. Steve O'Poulin's gone. Echemendia's gone. A lot of guys gone. We have some good depth. A big kind of disappointing part is Paniro Johnson. He's very good, but he doesn't perform in big moments. That was a win we should have had. And he's a very good wrestler, but he just doesn't perform under bigger circumstances. He should have won against Ryder Block. He didn't. Looking back on it, I wish we would have put Jacob Frost in. He was a All-American for us last year, and I think that would have probably been a better matchup, but it's tough to say. But I'm just happy. If that's the only thing I really want to talk about wrestling, we'll probably only bring it up if there's a huge duel that we win, or probably around Nationals time, which is around March. So we'll probably bring it up then. But they have a huge Vegas tournament coming up this weekend. It's a 2-day tournament, a lot of matches. It'll be fun stuff. But yeah, that's
my favorite one to watch was Younger.
Bastida, yeah,
Younger Bastida. That guy is good.
He is good. Looking at our lineup right now, we have a lot of All-American chances. I watched Bastida's match after because we were driving in the snow on our way back to town, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot of them. I got to watch like 3 matches, but I watched all of them after I got home. And yeah, Bastida just is a man amongst boys out there. I mean,
I like how he blows the kiss too.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy too. So
yeah. Did you see Tom Brands wouldn't shake Kevin Dresser's hand?
I did see that, and I saw a lot of people after that saying the Brands brothers need to be gone.
Huh.
I see a lot of people saying that their style is very outdated. They're a very defense heavy style. They run their wrestlers to the ground. They have a lot of transfers this year as well, mainly just because of NIL money. But
isn't it crazy you lose once to Iowa State and now they want you gone?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's
a little bit of an over exaggeration.
Well, I think people been wanting them gone for a while. Not that they're bad coaches, there's a bad stigma around Iowa wrestling, and it's known by a lot of teams. They just run their wrestlers to the ground. And it just doesn't work out for them. A lot of their guys underperform what they're supposed to. Last year they had 3 big transfers. 2 of them didn't even get All-American status, and one of them was a national champion. That guy worked out, but the other 2 didn't live up to their hype. I don't know if that's a thing where they just kind of were getting their money and going, and they didn't really care how they wrestled. Those were also people who were out of their it was their last like COVID year eligibility, so they were done after that year. So yeah, it's just a tough thing, but I don't necessarily think the Brands brothers need to be gone, but I think it's just something needs to be looked at their program. But I like the way Iowa State's program's looking though.
Yeah, that was really good for Kevin Dresser. He's been there a long time, and
it's good to
has never been able to get Iowa, and this year he got him. And it was more fun to do it at home, too, in front of your fans. So.
Yeah. Last year was pretty close, but this year, the past few years, I feel like everyone's been saying, oh, Iowa State has a real chance this year. Iowa State has a real chance this year. But I think this year, looking at all of our transfers, all of that, I think everyone actually did have a good chance. And we could have blown that duel way out even further than what it was. There was a close 4-2 decision, close 2-1 decision with Ferrari and Dean, and it was just close overall. There was only one match where I wasn't comfortable with us, and that was Caliendo and Utah. Caliendo is just a beast, so I'm not even surprised by that one. But overall, we looked really good, so I'm excited to see what's coming. But yeah, that's all for wrestling. Like I said, we probably won't talk about this every week, but maybe every once in a while we'll throw something in there. And yeah, it was just another new little sport to talk about Iowa State wise. But yeah, let's head into some NFL, shall we, Nate? NFL brought to you by Earl's Doghouse. Good beer, great fun. Just watch out for the manager.
Yep.
A couple of things I want to talk about. Joe Burrow is back for the Bengals, and they beat the Ravens 32-14. I want to touch on this real quick because Burrow looked really good, but more importantly, Lamar looked really bad. And he has been looking really bad since he got back from his injury. I don't know if there's something still lingering or if he's just not as confident anymore, but it just does not seem like he's throwing the ball or scrambling well at all.
Well, his first game back, he looked really good. And then after that, he's looked absolutely horrible. Yeah, he's found his way to my bench on my fantasy team. So he is no longer the starter for me on my fantasy. Now that I do that, he'll go off and have like 40 points this week.
Probably.
So, oh well, I don't really care. Yeah, Joe Burrow's back. Joe Burrow looked good. He looked like the Joe Burrow that we're used to seeing. He looked better than the Joe Burrow that started the season. And Kate got him back in fantasy, thanks to me. So I think she's happy with that as well. So, yeah, Joe Burrow looked good.
Yep. Another thing I want to talk about: Chiefs lost against the Cowboys.
They lost again.
They're 6-6.
Virtually, if they want to make the playoffs, they have to go undefeated.
They do. They have to win out every game, and they still have.
They could maybe have like one loss and be okay, but that would be pushing it.
Well, they still have a game against Denver. Still have a game against
at home,
the Chargers.
Though.
That one's at
the
home.
Denver one is Christmas. It's
at
home.
Yeah,
the Chargers game is at home too, I believe.
I think so. But they've lost some at home this year, so it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know if they'll be able to win it out or not. It's gonna be a real nail biter. I'll say that.
Yeah. It would be crazy for them to miss the playoffs. I still know people are willing to bet that they make the playoffs, so there's still people out there confident, which I think you should still be confident. You should be confident that the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs until they officially don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to write them off until it's set
until they
in stone.
are exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Until it's said that they're not.
Until their tombstone is up.
Yeah.
Don't write them off. Cowboys on a 2-game win streak.
Both against Super Bowl
teams. I don't know how they did it, but they've done it. And
it's that offense of theirs, man. It's their defense isn't the greatest, but their offense has been awesome.
It still doesn't make any sense to me. The Cardinals absolutely annihilated them, and right now I would absolutely say the Cardinals are one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the NFL, and which I'm not going to talk about them. Like I said every week, still just blows my mind how there's no coaching change been made there, none whatsoever. But we blew the brakes off the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are now beating the Eagles and the Chiefs, which therefore means that the Cardinals could also beat the Cowboys or the Chiefs.
I just think the Cowboys. It says more about their inconsistency with their offense, because that's really what that relies on. Like their defense is hardly there, but their offense is what wins them games. They have 2 of the best probably the best wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 in the league, possibly.
Maybe.
The Rams are up there as well. There's some other teams you could throw in there. Vikings, yeah.
With Addison and Jefferson.
Yeah, but you also have Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer combined. So
yeah.
So that
the Steelers got a new 1-2 punch. They have DK Metcalf, and then today they just picked up Adam Thielen.
Oh yeah,
from the Vikings.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't think it'll make the huge difference.
I'll say one thing. I watched the Steelers game the other day. They looked absolutely horrible. That's probably the worst they've looked all year.
Yeah,
Like
I
they look
agree.
like they're done. They just have nothing.
At this point,
Like Aaron Rodgers has just completely overwhelmed that team. He's destroyed that team. I feel
he's
like.
destroyed the chemistry.
Yeah, he's
Any
just
type of chemistry.
he's not very nice to his teammates, and I feel
No.
like that's finally set in on all of them. He continuously says that they all have to take accountability, and he does too. But every time something happens, he's always yelling at them.
Yeah, he's always blaming somebody for he was injured. Then this game he was in and out a few times. Him and Mason Rudolph kind of took turns. Mason Rudolph played like absolute garbage,
Well,
which
is normal for him.
yeah, I don't know why we ever got him back, but at this point you have to look at it like, okay, Aaron Rodgers isn't playing well. Mason Rudolph isn't playing well. Why don't we throw our young guy out there? See how he does. And I know it sucks because we don't have the greatest offensive line, but I don't know if they've ever thought maybe the offensive line isn't doing as great because Aaron Rodgers yells at him all the time.
Well, and the one thing, too, is you can totally tell that Aaron Rodgers has taken over this team because they just went and picked up Adam Thielen today. That's exactly what Aaron Rodgers did with the Jets when they weren't playing good. He blamed it on that he doesn't have enough weapons, so they would go out and get like somebody like Devontae Adams. Do you realize how bad he made Devontae Adams look in New York? Look at him with the Rams. Like, he's back.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is back to being Devontae Adams.
It's almost like he got younger.
Because he has a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Look at him when he went to the Raiders, and he played with Derek Carr. He was horrible.
He was horrible.
Then he went and played with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. He was horrible. Now he's back with a good quarterback. He was with Aaron Rodgers before. But that's when Aaron Rodgers was playing good football.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't played good football since his second or third to last year in Green Bay.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But
He's now back with a good quarterback in Matthew Stafford, and that guy looks like a Pro Bowl or first team wide receiver. Like, that guy is really good. He's playing really good again.
Yeah.
But this is the typical Aaron Rodgers move, is to bring me in more players. They brought in Adam Thielen today. I guarantee, you know who wanted Adam Thielen? Aaron Rodgers.
And you know who probably kept egging the higher-ups to get him? Mike Tomlin, because he loves Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the problem is Mike Tomlin's going to ruin himself by bringing in Aaron Rodgers and continuing to be by Aaron Rodgers' side.
Here's what I don't understand, right? Is we had a weapon. His name was George Pickens. Yes, he had an attitude problem. Yes, it needed to get put in check. But the talent was there, and we got rid of him. I think part of the reason we got rid of him was because he and Aaron Rodgers probably didn't like his attitude.
And just speculating, I would assume that Aaron Rodgers had something to do with why he is gone.
Speculation. I think so too.
I would assume. I would speculate that they had a long talk before Aaron Rodgers came to the Steelers that he probably did not want to play with George Pickens. Could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers would go yell at George Pickens about a route? George Pickens would take his helmet off and beat him with it.
Yeah,
Like, he would pull Mason Rudolph on Aaron Rodgers.
he would.
He would literally pick Aaron Rodgers up and like body slam him.
Probably
Aaron Rodgers wasn't. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was willing to play with him.
no.
So they got rid of him, and they got rid of a really young talent who has a really bad attitude, continues to have a bad attitude at the Cowboys. At some point, that's going to catch up with him.
It will.
He's going to get suspended, or something's going to happen
It will, but
with him.
the talent is there.
Yeah, no doubt, talent is there, but they chose to go with Aaron Rodgers in that situation,
Yeah.
and that's what they have. And look where they're at now.
Yeah, it's not very good. Our best other wide receiver is Calvin Austin. He doesn't do very well. He's shorter. He's pretty solid, but he doesn't have the height. He doesn't have the reach. Not saying he's not a good wide receiver, but he's more of like a wide receiver 3, third option out there. I wouldn't say he's a primary or a secondary option. And DK, I mean, he has not had a good year at all. That's also because quarterback-wise, we don't have a very good quarterback. I would just say throw Will Howard out there, see how he does. At least for one game. See what he does.
All I know is Will Howard's got to be really bad if he can't get over Aaron Rodgers at this point and Mason Rudolph.
I don't think it's his skill level right now. I think it's more of a fact that they don't want, because they're gonna have Rodgers be the starter, no matter what. They're gonna have him be the starter. Doesn't matter, most teams, if you have a quarterback that just fractured their wrist in 3 different places, probably not going to have them play the game right after, or 2 games right after. But they did with Aaron Rodgers, probably because Aaron Rodgers said, "I want to go play," so they let him play. Then he gets hurt a little bit. They throw Mason Rudolph in. He starts playing terribly. I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans love Mason Rudolph. I don't know why. I don't, but it's not a very good one. So I would throw Will Howard out there. You never know how they're going to play until they're in an actual game setting, in my opinion. But I don't know. It probably won't happen this year. So I'm just hoping. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers leaves after this year, and we get something else going.
I would say he's going to retire after this year.
I hope so.
He would be dumb.
I hope so. But yeah, we'll see. Steelers just don't look good at all.
Nope. Do you have anything else from the NFL?
Not really. Not anything of note.
All right, we'll hop into Joe's Triple Threat. Joe does have a triple threat this week.
I do.
Brought to you as always by Earl's Doghouse. Good food, good drinks. Just watch out for Earl.
Yeah.
What do you got, Joe?
This week, purely football.
Oh.
Purely football. I have an NFL game and two college games. The NFL game, Thursday Night Football, Lions, Cowboys. Lions are 3.5-point favorites. It'll be a really interesting game. Both pretty good teams. But I think Cowboys are going to win this. I think their offense has been on a roll the past few games. And the Lions haven't been playing too hot the past few games. So I think Cowboys are going to take this one. My next game, coming into this next week for college football, championship games, big ones, Big Ten championship game. Whoever wins this becomes the last undefeated team left in college football. Indiana versus Ohio State. Ohio State is 4.5-point favorites, and I'm taking Indiana on this one. I think Indiana is the underdog for sure, but I think they have a little bit more hunger for it. Ohio State, they're in this situation every year, so I don't think they're, it's just an every year thing for them. Whereas Indiana, they don't get this opportunity every single year. So I think Indiana's going to come with some hunger. They're going to come with some fight, and I think they're gonna win one. And the last one, Big 12 championship game, Texas Tech BYU, a rematch. And last time, Texas Tech absolutely beat the brakes off of BYU. Texas Tech is 12.5-point favorites coming into this game. And I think Texas Tech is still going to win. But I think BYU is going to come with a little bit more fight. I think they're going to come a little bit more ready. And I think that Texas Tech needs to watch out for that. But I think Texas Tech, at the end of the day, will win. So that's my triple threat this week.
So
Cowboys,
you're taking BYU,
Indiana, Texas Tech.
You taking BYU with the points?
Yeah. But I think,
You think Texas Tech's going to win, but you're taking BYU with the points?
Yes.
All right. So, all righty. That was Joe's triple threat. Brought to you, as always, by Earl's Doghouse.
Yes.
All righty. One last thing to get into. We'll just make it really quick. Fantasy football. I have reclaimed the number 1 spot. I am the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Thanks to my good pal Joe, who took the L this week for me. I beat Joe head-to-head. Unfortunately, it came down to what me and Joe thought it was going to come down to. We were going to have to play each other to eliminate one of each other from the playoffs. It was a duel. The loser goes home. The winner stays in the playoffs. I beat Joe, and I reclaimed the 1 seed because Kate's on a 4-game losing streak, 4-week losing streak. I'm going to play Ariana in the first round, and Kate is going to play Sean.
That'll be interesting to see.
in the first round.
Are you nervous, Nate?
Oh, I'm very nervous. I am ready. I am fully prepared to be a one and done in the playoffs. Like I've said in the past, Christian McCaffrey's on a bye week, my first week of the playoffs. That is asinine.
You know, if you
That
want,
is horrible.
if you want, I can lend you Jameer Gibbs.
I
for a
might
week.
take Jameer Gibbs.
For a
I
week.
might lend Jameer
We
Gibbs.
we can't trade anymore, but maybe I can drop him. You can pick him up and just have him for a week.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate because I would have made the playoffs had Sean or Ariana lost.
Yeah,
but
Maddie or Kate couldn't get that done.
yeah, no, Maddie and Kate both fumbled. They both lost.
Yeah.
So
Kate fumbled her nuts again, and are we really surprised with Maddie? I mean,
no, but honestly, that was the best chance. She had two people on her bench who, if she would have put them in, they would have won.
yeah.
The 1 week she doesn't have DeAndre Swift in, he goes off for 20. And then Terry McLaurin, who hasn't been doing good all year, has a 22-point game.
Well, also really unfortunate that Justin Jefferson has a horrible game, but he has Brosner as his
He hasn't had a very good year, though. I think he's only had 2 games where he's
Well, look at
scored
his
above.
quarterback play.
I know, but
It's horrible.
yeah, just terrible.
Yeah, so Joe is on the outside looking in. You and Maddie still play this week for the
Yeah, we do.
consolation game.
But yeah,
That's for the first pick in the draft, Joe. I think you should just tank.
should I
I think you should just
just put all my benches in,
unload your players. Just get rid of them. Get the number 1 pick next year in the draft.
and then you pick them all?
Yeah, I will. I'll pick them up this year, but I think you should just unload your players. What do you have to play for? Second to last?
Yeah, that's
The second pick in the draft? That's what you're looking at.
yeah, that's true.
I would just unload. Let Maddie. It'll help you out. Maddie will be happy.
Yeah, she'll
Be like, I
win.
beat you in the playoffs. Go and pick up, like a quarterback off free agency.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll pick up
Just put Josh Allen.
Maybe
on
I'll
the
pick
bench.
up Max Brosmer.
Yeah, or just pick up like a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
Pick up like a Bo Nix
Yeah, Bo Nix.
and put Josh Allen on your bench.
Yeah.
Just tell Maddie. I'm just not feeling Josh Allen this week.
He hasn't been doing
Bo
good
Nix is
the
gonna
past
have a
yet.
big week. Yeah, and just that's what I would do. I would tank the season.
Maybe I'll do the same thing. Take out Jameer Gibbs, put in David Montgomery, be like, okay,
Yeah.
I think David Montgomery's gonna have a really big week.
And then watch all those guys go off for like 40.
Yeah, watch Bo Nix have like 30.
Yeah, watch
David
it be like the
Montgomery
best.
have like 22.
Watch it be like the best week you've had in like a long time.
Yeah, I was doing good, man. I was on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And then I lost to you. It's very unfortunate because I think I wouldn't say that because my team did not play well at all.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs didn't have a great game.
Neither did my team though. When Saquon and Lamar Jackson combined for 11 points, I thought I was screwed.
I thought you were too. You were down to like a 35% win, and then Christian McCaffrey started getting touchdowns. Trey McBride started getting touchdowns. Nico Collins started
AJ
getting
Brown was a big
touchdowns.
one.
AJ Brown had like 35 points. He only had like 8 with like starting the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I was really disappointed. I thought for sure I was done. I was going to lose, and came back. Was able to win all those games, and so that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I reclaimed the number 1 seed, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, Joe, I definitely think you should just tank.
Yeah.
You should be like the NFL teams do. Just tank for the number 1 pick. Just don't be like the Colts and tank for the number 1 pick and start Daniel Jones and then end up having one of the best years you've ever had.
Yeah. maybe I'll be the Saints right now, just kind of start trying to lose every game.
Be the Cardinals.
Yeah, maybe I'll be them. But even though they had a close game against the Buccaneers, that was close.
If we had adequate coaching, we could win those games.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Yep. Well, I think that's all for this week. It's honestly not as short as we thought it was going to be, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
A little bit of stuff to catch
I
up
felt like we
on.
kept that moving pretty good.
I think
we
we
went
did.
more in depth on Iowa State football season, which
Yeah.
we should. They're
We
coming
didn't have
to
Nate's
they're
grades
coming to a
this week.
close. Yeah, no Nate's grades. And we went a little bit more in depth on Iowa State basketball, which I feel like those things we should. So
Yeah, and we also had Iowa State wrestling this week. So
Yep.
just a few things here and there, but as always, thank you for listening. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let us know what if there's something you guys want us to talk about. We might throw it in there, or a certain team you might want us to throw it in there. Let us know. And
no promises we're going to talk nice about them, but we'll talk about them.
Yeah. If you tell us to talk about Iowa,
Iowa or Texas, it's going to be a little tough.
Yeah, but
We'll talk nicer about Iowa than we will Texas.
yeah. And, yeah, if there's something you guys want us to talk about, just let us know in the comments. And yeah, I think that's all for this week.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.